Microphone smells like Badussi.
Smells like Badussi in here. That's booty, dick, and pussy. All right. Are we streaming? Is this a thing?
It showed up on, yeah.
Did OBS update? So we got an OBS update directly in the middle of the stream, as per usual, because OBS loves the Op9.
It never tells us it needs to update until we're streaming.
So we've been doing a little bit of prep while we were waiting for the thing to come back up. What I did was I took a little bit of brown sugar, I took some salt and some pepper and a little bit of rosemary, and I coated the short ribs in it. I also caramelized my onions a little bit. Put them here in this Pyrex.
Only thing I really did was just chop up all my veggies. I had some julienne onions, some yellow onions. I had some julienne shiitake mushrooms, and just very poorly chopped.
Let me get over to the cutting board. I'm trying to get this other thing out.
Shiitake on ice.
I'm sorry.
But no, just some chopped up green onions. All these things are gonna go inside, some sooner than later.
Deep inside.
Deep inside. But yeah, and then as soon as we get all this stuff ready, I will show you the proper way to make a risotto.
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 All right, into the pan. I don't know why I chose such a small pan, but I did. I'm going with it.
You didn't want to wash dishes?
Yes, that's it.
Fucking, I know your logic.
So what I'm doing is I'm putting them that side down. If you look here, there's a nice bone right here, and then a big fat piece of the meat. Now I'm putting it the meat side down, and I'm going to get a good sear on it. Yes. OBS is dead to me.
I don't even know what OBS is, but it's already dead to me as is.
OBS is the system that all of our cameras and audio equipment connect to so that it can go on to Twitch. So when that goes down, it just fucks everything up.
I'm glad I'm just a basic bitch. I'm just streaming from my PS4.
Yeah, you know.
About all that shit. I'm not tech swabby or stabby, whatever you think.
Tech swabby?
Tech swab.
Swabby. Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Duck Bitches Henderson III is with us today. He's over there hiding out.
You two big ass dudes in this kitchen, man. We can't fit.
I know. So, yeah, we gotta get us a new kitchen. Where's my tongs? These are the high quality $4 tongs, Walmart.
Or Target.
Target's nice too, yeah. If you're fancy.
There's also the very highest value garage.
Oh, yeah. So you can see we got a nice little bit of caramelization on there.
A little bit of that Maillard reaction.
The Maillard.
And if you guys don't know what that is, the Maillard reaction is just the cause of browning of protein. So anything that basically has like a protein in it, whether it be like a starchy protein or like a meaty protein or whatever, they always have like some form of either like sugar in there, and that's what that caramelization is on top. Just a little side note.
And that happens at approximately 312 degrees Fahrenheit.
Boom, there's that. Well, if you remember, because I did not remember this.
Yeah. Good to see everybody trickling in. Got our guest chef tonight. I've known Carl for a long time. Since he was just a little baby.
Wee baby. What are you gonna braise it in?
Chef baby.
What are you gonna braise it in?
So I'm gonna do the caramelized onions and do a little bit of red wine. I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna get into this, but I'm just kind of making room right now, making sure that they're all nice and caramelized, Maillarded.
I'm gonna get my pan heated up.
All right.
You're almost fucking done.
Yep.
Oh, good.
I love this dual. It's a dual climate one.
Wait, so this is double.
So this is that's double. And the other one's single.
Gotcha. I'm the single burner.
Where's that gay pride kappa when you need it? All right. So I don't have a lot of room in this pan, but it doesn't really matter. I'll just do them in cycles. And actually, here you go. I'll put this right here so you guys can see kind of what I'm doing. These two that are completely caramelized, I'm going to go ahead and put them like so. We'll caramelize the other two.
And a little side note too, the reason that you sear all sides is it technically locks all the flavors in. It's also adding more flavor because I mean you can honestly just throw the bland meat in a pot with some liquid and braise it that way, but you're not going to get as much flavor as you should. The caramelization of the proteins helps lock all the flavors inside the meat itself, and it also adds some of that kind of like that burnt kind of caramelized flavor to your liquid as well. So the more flavor and aromatics that you can add into your broth, the better it's going to be.
It's a good thing.
It is. Don't cook your food like middle-aged white women. Like nobody wants that. Fucking bland as fuck. Nobody wants that shit.
I seasoned it with salt.
And it's just a tiny bit of pepper.
Oh, green leaves, crack star. Crack star is somebody else that we know, but he couldn't get it. He couldn't get the right name. Is it Stink? Or is it Scalalag? It might be Scalalag.
It's hard when you keep up.
I don't know. I don't know none of these motherfuckers.
You will.
Don't trust these moving around over.
Ruckus. Uncle Ruckus, no relation. Alright.
Oh, Crackstar is Will.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, Will.
Will, for those who don't know, is the guy who did all of our fancy layout. And he tried to put a picture of there with my pants down. And I vetoed that, but, you know, maybe... Turn my shit down. Maybe later. We'll see how the stream goes. Now I got this delicious $5 bottle of wine. And it's really all you need. It really is. You don't need fancy stuff when you're reducing wine.
I mean, if you want to be a baller, you can, but you're going to tap your pockets out more than anything.
Exactly. I ain't a baller, and I ain't going to drink this stuff, so... I'm going to go ahead and pour some of that in there, and I'm going to reduce this down. And I'm going to pour it over the short ribs. And I'll probably add a little bit more for braising liquid. I'm going to cover that up, and I'm going to throw it in the oven at 375 degrees. And then we're going to give over our tiny, tiny oven to Duck so he can show you how to make risotto the right way. Yeah, people are going to keep missing out, all right? Nobody needs to see my underwear.
Why not, man? Dude, sometimes you got to just put it on the table. Show them what you're working with. I mean, let's be real. If somebody hosted a cooking channel, nothing in like undergarments, you'll probably get a hell of a lot of viewers.
Probably.
Like I said, man, go to the fucking slutty Patreon route. Drop pieces of meat on the floor and bend over slowly.
Well, you know, it depends. It depends.
I don't know. This sponge fell. Let me go and just pick this up real
I
fast.
just keep dropping this slippery kielbasa on the ground. It's crazy.
Oh,
Donate $5 and I'll keep dropping it.
An iron skillet. I do have one. Right here, actually. But it's like a grill skillet. A grillet.
A grill.
see, Bear Chef. I'm telling you.
It's a grillet. Okay. You got to turn the oven on or the stove on if you want things to cook. That's a pro tip.
It is.
Turn the fucking oven on. $1 million idea. energy drink of the night is the Rockstar Pure Zero Silver Ice. It tastes roughly like...
Don't let Adam feed you that bullshit. This is gonna be the beverage of night.
Bruh.
Look at that.
I love them.
Organic.
I love yerbas.
It's organic, not chock full of fucking chemicals and sugar. It's fucking tea and mint, bro.
It does have sugar in it, though.
Not a fuck. I mean, look.
Okay, look at this one can. All right, let's look at this. This is 2 servings, right? 2 servings, 14 grams. That's 28 grams of sugar a can. And tell me that it doesn't have sugar in it. Go ahead and look at it.
How the fuck does it have? That's a lie. This is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
it doesn't have sugar in it because it has the shit that gives you Alzheimer's disease, which is
fucking cancer. It's like salt. It starts with an S. I forgot what that shit is called.
This one has gluconeurolactone in it and sucralose.
Yep.
So sucralose, they're now saying that it has connections to I forgot what it is. I think it's Alzheimer's disease.
Testicular cancer.
I can't remember things anymore, and I don't know why.
Your balls are gonna fall off. That's why. Drink yerba, guys.
No, trust me. Yerba is great, and I drank a lot of it, and but it does have sugar in it, and I'm trying to cut out sugar completely, and it's been a bitch.
Yeah, whatever.
Except for Thanksgiving, I ate all the carbs and all the sugar for the rest of the year.
Whatever.
Delicious chemicals.
I don't know. I'm not only doing this. I love yerba, but like I'm slightly partnered with them.
So apparently, Greenleaves knows Thekus really well. Do we know who Greenleaves is?
Yes, that's Aaron.
Aaron, what's up?
Aaron and Mr. Universe.
Yes.
I thought you meant like Aaron Guerra.
No. That's
Aaron.
Aaron. This is EIRN as opposed to Aaron.
Okay. Hold
Hey, Ron.
Aaron.
A vegan Thanksgiving? What?
Whoa!
I'm gonna say hi to Aaron for a sec.
Hey, Aaron.
Eat that the turkey.
Hey, Aaron.
Aaron.
Her husband is like my bromance dude. He looks like a well, he doesn't look like him, but he sounds and acts exactly like Mr. Universe from Steven Universe. He's like the coolest. Oh, he's such a nice guy. Great dude, Greg, and his name is Greg too.
Greg.
But yeah, he's my little bromance guy. But he's all the way out there and wherever, Tacoma.
Compton.
We keep trying to get him to come out here, but they don't want to come out here.
It's a 2-hour drive or a $35 train ticket.
They got a sweet house, so I don't blame them.
Actually, they live in Spokane now.
Oh, you guys moved to Spokane?
So we can take a show on the road.
Kansas.
Yeah, we should. So, red wine reducing. We're going to pour it over these ribs. I'm going to get a little bit of aluminium foil. Put it over the top. We want all that steam and that heat to stay in there. So the meat can become tender. Because ribs on their own, they're not very tender. You gotta cook them for a while.
Unless you slow cook them, it's all about time. Don't try to rush it.
I'm actually trying to rush it right now. I'm hoping to get these done within 2 hours.
You fucking do that, bro. My risotto's gonna be like 30 minutes tops.
Then we're gonna do greens. So how do you do your greens, Carl?
Like braised greens?
Yeah.
It depends on what kind of people I'm cooking for. Usually when I'm cooking at home, which is majority black people, there's all types of... First of all, I mean, of course, being black, we grew up on eating like collard greens, turnip greens, mustard greens, the whole shebang.
Yeah, I got
peel them, rinse them in salt water, warm salt water, kind of let them soak. It kind of helps them break them down a little bit. Mm-hmm. You get a big ass pot. I'm pretty sure every black person has this fucking big metal pot that's hella thin at the bottom, which kind of sucks and it burns the shit out of it, but whatever. Get your onions and garlic and your some kind of pork. It has to be either like a hog maw or like some bacon.
Hog maw.
And sit there, get that all rendered on the bottom. Get your onions all caramelized, and then you throw your greens in there. Add a little bit of salt water, some vinegar, and you just let that bitch rot for a couple hours.
Nice.
A lot of people don't know it's like they may seem really delicate and tender, but they'll cook. You can literally cook greens for like hours upon hours, and they'll still be okay.
Oh yeah.
But usually when I cook for the more like granola organic crowd, I just garlic, like onions, either garlic, shallots, onions. I'll saute them in a pan to glaze with white wine, cover with the lid, and like kind of slow braise it like that, and then because I don't know, like I said, this crowd up here likes theirs to be have a little bite to it, look a little al dente. But like I said, it all depends on your customer base.
I feel that too. Like I think that it's better with a little bit of bite to it. I mean,
but I mean, my opinion is gonna be biased because honestly, I grew up eating it the way I've ate it for almost like what 19, 20 years of my life. So I mean,
Carl grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
From the South.
They know how to cook there.
Soul food, man. There's no polenta down there. What the fuck is that?
It's just grits. It's just a different name.
Look at these yellow grits. Like basically.
Yellow grits. I bet they don't use yellow grits at all.
I didn't know what polenta was until I moved up here, man.
Huh?
But then again, I really didn't care too much about food until I moved up here.
You didn't know a lot of shit before you moved up here,
bro. Like when I lived in Tennessee. I mean, granted, I'm not gonna say everybody in Tennessee is the same way. We just grew up really poor, so everything came in a can.
Oh yeah.
So like growing up, only eating canned green beans, have them always be like soggy and shit, just fucking packed full of sodium. And you come up here and be like, you see green beans growing from the ground. You're like, what the fuck is that? Like, is that vegetables?
So what was your like aha moment with food? Like the first time that you ate something, you remember the dish where you were like, oh, this is what real food is?
It's gonna sound hella cheesy. When I was in high school, I worked at a little cafe as part of my culinary program, and I made pesto for the first time. Yeah. And so like I made pesto from scratch. So like, like picking my basil, toasting my pine nuts, like getting my like fresh grated Parmesan cheese and like my extra virgin olive oil and doing all that stuff. And I made that shit, and I made it into a pasta with sun-dried tomatoes, which I didn't even know what the fuck was at the time.
Yeah.
That shit changed my life.
Yeah.
Then I tried to feed it to my best friend, and he was like, why are you giving me green pasta? And that's why you can't cook for black people, man. I swear to God. Just can't fucking do it. I'm appreciative.
And yes, we do eat hominy green beans. I do anyway. Preferably in pozole, which is a Mexican soup. Usually it has
delicious.
pork and oh yeah. That's the when I was living in LA, there was this little place that just did soup, and on Sundays they would do pozole because it takes all day. So they would only do it one day a week, and I would go down there and eat that pozole, and it was delicious.
Yeah, it sounded dirty.
I would eat that
pozole.
I would eat that pozole.
Spread your legs. I'm gonna eat that pozole.
God damn.
Yo, I'm about to say that shit now.
Damn cooks, you can't take them anywhere. You can't take a chef anywhere.
Yeah, girl, your pozole look good as fuck right now. What the fuck is shit? What the fuck is shit out that pozole?
All right. So I got my reduction. I'll put the last little bit on there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get it all wrapped up. Get it put in there. How hot is it? Not bad at all.
Chef hands. Chef hands.
They got a limit though, man.
I don't know, man. I have like, well now it's getting worse because I'm not cooking as much as I want to nowadays. But
my chef hands, like anything past like 350, anything past 350, I can't handle it. But
I agree. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I have something in the oven and you don't have time to get tongs or a towel, so you just go and just grab that bitch. I mean, you have like a 3-second time limit. Like anything past that, you're gonna fuck your shit up. But
so I've been talking about like scars of the trade.
Yeah.
And the one I was talking about was this guy right here. That's the cutter's callus.
Yeah.
So that's where the spine of your knife goes up against your finger. And if you cut vegetables and stuff all day, you get a nice ugly callus on there, which I'm sure you guys have all seen.
And don't let those weirdo chefs out there. Like I've had plenty of chefs where I've like introduced myself for the first time when they shake your hand. But they'll sit there and fucking finger rub your callus.
Yeah, that's gross.
That shit is fucking weird. That's why you gotta just, I don't know, man.
All right, so that's going into the oven, 375 degrees, and I'm gonna get out of Duck's way here, and he's gonna show you risotto.
So what's up, guys, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Carl again. Which camera are we on?
We're on the main camera.
Face camera, there you are.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there's a little bit of a delay.
Gotcha. All right, so I have all my mise en place together. It's all gathered up. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have my shiitake mushrooms. I have my julienne yellow onions, and then I just have my abundance of chopped up green onions. These are all going to be what's going to be going inside of my risotto. I'm gonna start off with like a medium-high heat so I can get this butter melted. So step one thing about risotto, you always, when you're dealing with arborio rice, which is the main rice that people use for risotto, you always have to coat it in fat. Get enough fat in there so it's gonna toast your rice, and it's gonna open up the little pores, because on each side of the rice there's like 2 little pores, which is gonna suck in all the flavor from what you're gonna be putting in your pan. So all your aromatics, all your fat, you know, and your herbs and everything is gonna absorb all that flavor. So, but you're gonna need some sort of fat, whether it be butter, oil, duck fat, like whatever you want to do, just kind of just throw it in there.
Duck fat, man. Now that's what I'm talking about.
But you can only do that stuff for people who's gonna appreciate it. Like, you give it to like a redneck.
Boy, he put a whole stick of butter in there. This is serious.
And guys, I've been doing this for a while now, so I really don't. I'm not the most sanitary person. I do everything with my hands because that's how I just do. So
that's how we were trained, honestly.
Don't take notes from me. Just take notes about the cooking itself.
That's how we were trained, honestly. I you know.
All right, so I'm gonna get my butter melted. As soon as everything gets melted, I'm gonna kind of brown the butter a little bit because that's the flavor I want to go for. And I'm not gonna give you guys measurements. I don't do recipes. Recipes are for chumps. Fuck a recipe.
Recipes. You want to open that right there and hand me the Morton salt up top?
All right, there you go.
Thanks, sir. I'm gonna get these greens soaking. Now the greens that I have are already pre-washed, but don't ever trust that.
Yeah, they still fucking spray it all with pesticides on it.
And even that, like, you know, there was a thing with spinach, I think, where people were getting listeria from that. There's a product on the market that's called vegetable wash, and I think that's mostly bullshit. But, I mean, if you're really scared about it, go ahead and get your vegetable wash. But
agreed.
I've never had a problem.
So like I said, the rest I'm going to be using is going to be arborio. You can get it really cheap. This costs me like $3 for like a pound of rice, which isn't bad. Because this right here would honestly like either triple or quadruple in size depending on how slow you cook it. But as you can see, it's a very short grain rice. Probably one of the shortest grains. It's a little baby piece. So my butter is all melted. So before I do that, I'm going to throw my flavors in there. So I'm going to get my onions and get those kind of cooked up a little bit. I'm going to throw my mushrooms in as well and get those cooked up a little bit. Okay.
This is, it's pretty nice, Carl. You know, we don't get to hang out too much anymore. We're all busy doing our own thing.
Fucking work, man. Fucking work treats people or makes you basically a slave. You get to do shit, man. Alright, so one thing I forgot to add, these mushrooms are gonna soak up majority of my butter because mushrooms are assholes like that. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more in so it'll have enough for the rice itself.
Mushrooms are assholes like that.
They are.
Where's the quote when you need it?
Where's the ball? He would have got that. We're missing the ball. We need him.
Can we do a quote?
Yeah,
There are no quotes.
You gotta
I
add
know
quote.
hash quote, but
it's
I
exclamation point, add quote.
add
Type it in.
quote.
Yeah.
So what was it? Mushrooms.
Mushrooms are assholes like that.
So as you guys can see, I have a shit ton of butter in this pan. It's almost like soup-like. That's exactly what I'm going for. Because honestly, between the mushrooms and the rice, it's going to absorb it all. And then once I deglaze it, that's pretty much going to just go inside the rice as it is. So don't be too alarmed if you think you have too much. Cool. If you have too much fat between, like I said, between either the like whatever your ingredients are going to be, most of it should absorb it.
Yep.
So butter's all melted, everything's starting to cook. I'm going to slowly add my risotto in. And like I said, I'm not going to measure anything out and give you guys measurements because I'm a real fucking chef. I don't do recipes, man. So once you guys get to this step, go ahead and just let your rice cook a little bit. You kind of want it to like toast up a little bit. If you kind of just do plain risotto or arborio with like nothing in it, it'll kind of start to give off this smell of like almost like toasted nuts, almost like kind of like roasted almonds. It'll have like this very nutty smell. And that's going to be the smell from the rice itself and also the browning of the butter. It almost kind of has like a very nutty smell to it. Just be sure to kind of keep an eye on it, make sure you don't burn it. Because butter at a certain point, once it reaches a smoking point, it will start to burn on you. You don't want to burn your butter because it'll just make your risotto look like complete shit.
You're gonna have bad times.
Right. It'll just everything will start to be all brown and flaky and just look all weird, and you don't want that. So, and so I can get out the way. The step after this, I'm going to be deglazing. And for you guys who don't know what deglazing is, it's when you have like a burning, like say for instance you have like some caramelization of like adding on the bottom, and you want to kind of get that flavor to the point where it's not burnt enough to like taste like shit, but the point where it has like that good flavor. You want to get all that flavor and turn it into a liquid. So what you want to do is either deglaze it with some sort of like either like wine or anything with like an acid in it. So it can be like you can deglaze things with like lemon juice, lime juice, orange juice, any kind of vinegar, anything that has like a very high acid potency to it. You kind of want to do that as well. And what I'm going to be doing it tonight because it'll probably go better with Adam's short ribs. I'm going to start with sake. It's this little guy. You don't need a lot. You just need enough to kind of just like cut some of this fat down and kind of get some of the burning off the bottom of it. So
those crispy bits on the bottom, by the way, are called fond in French.
So get all that deglaze, let all that absorb it up, and as you can tell, like most of that butter is now gone. All you really have is like this very thick, starchy kind of liquid. I don't know if you guys can see it with the steam or whatnot, but you can kind of see there's not really any butter, but you do see some browning of the rice itself. That's exactly what you want to go for. And so now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the heat down by half to like almost like a medium to like medium low.
Sorry, my hands. Yeah, it should. You'll see the rice start to become kind of like translucent. What you're looking for, and you'll see the starchy white parts will get whiter, and the other part of the rice will start to become translucent, and that's how you know you're getting close.
Pretty good as well.
No, go for it.
I want to just do it for green with this random.
Yeah.
Alright, so as of right now, the heat's turned down low, like a medium low. Right here's what I have. I just have a basic chicken stock. Like I said, if you're vegetarian, vegan, whatever, you don't have to. You can use whatever flavorful liquid you want, but you want to add a flavorful liquid in there just so it adds more flavor to your risotto. You can use water all day, but it's probably going to be the most bland ass risotto you're going to be able to make. So use any kind of flavorful liquid, whatever fits the flavor profile of your main dish. You're going to just use that. So I'm just going to add this in. And the whole key of making risotto is not pouring it all in at the same time, but adding it little by little. Because what you want to do is like arborio rice is almost like a little time capsule of starch. If you try to cook it like normal rice, it's still going to be soft on the outside and still going to be crispy on the inside, and nobody wants that. So what you want to do is you want to add your liquid in little by little, and it's going to start to slowly release all the starch that's going to be inside of it. And it's just something that you just can't cook on the fly. Like, I don't understand how many times I've seen somebody run out of risotto on the line, and like, I can make it on the fly.
You can't.
Nah, bro. Like, unless you're a goddamn god, like you really can't do that on the fly. So, it's just like a time thing, man. Just take your time. You can cover it if you want to. I'm not gonna cover mine because it's how I want to. But really, at this point, this is kind of like a wait. It's like a waiting game. You just kind of wait till your liquid reduces down to the point where you don't see any more liquid, and then you're gonna add some more liquid in, and add some more liquid in as soon as that reduces down.
And it's a big deal to keep stirring, by the way, because the more you stir, the more the starches are released from the grains.
And like I said, medium-low heat is going to be your best friend. Not too low, but definitely not too high. If you cook it too high, like I said, it's going to be like you're trying to cook jasmine rice. And jasmine rice is a longer grain. It's a very standard grain. You're going to cook that so fast. But with these being such like a short, stubby rice, you're not going to be able to cook that on a high heat at all times. So just to the point where like you can see it boiling, you can kind of see some production with the liquid like kind of going down. And I don't know how it's transparent to the camera, but like this liquid right here, it just looks like it's so starchy. Like you can just tell there's hella starch in there, and that's exactly what you want to look for. But I'm gonna just let it go. Let it do its thing.
So that's your Instagram.
Yeah, awesome.
So you can
go follow me, guys. I don't really post much food anymore because, like I said, I don't really do much cooking. But you can see some of my old stuff that I've done. I post things on pretty much all my social media, so you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Snapchat, whatever, or whatever social medias that I have. Just ask me, I'll write it down, or like I'll put it up on my phone or some shit and show you guys. But
he's got a ton of pretty pictures on there.
mainly my baby, man. I just had a kid. If you guys want to know, I just had a kid. He's gonna be 10 months next month on the 1st.
10 months already. I still haven't even seen that child.
10 months, man. But yeah, man. Just let this kind of go. I don't really know what to do with else right now.
Yeah. So what's your favorite thing about being a chef?
It all depends on what aspect of my life you're talking about. When I was younger, so this is the whole backstory about me. When I was younger, I did everything for girls. Like girls were like Adam can fucking verify this shit. Yeah. I did everything to get pussy. Like anything I could possibly do to get pussy, I did. So like, I moved from Tennessee to Portland to Vancouver, and then when I moved from Portland to Vancouver, they didn't have programs like that they had in Portland, so they was like, we have to find you a new alternative program. And I seen a bunch of girls in the culinary arts program. It was just bitches and cookies, and you really can't turn those two things down. So,
dude,
that's exactly what I did. I went into culinary arts. I signed up without hesitation.
Tell them what you were gonna do before that.
I was gonna be a massage therapist, but then I found out you have to touch dudes, and I was like, fuck that. I'm not touching no fucking old ass naked guy in the back with essential oils. Like, no, you know how gay that shit is.
That was his thing, and he told me that in the exact same way. I ain't gonna touch no damn dudes.
I'm more open-minded, so I probably would, but like back in like my 17 to like 23-year-old Carl, that shit was not happening, not at all. You couldn't even convince me to even think about that shit. But
he used to wear all red, and he wouldn't listen to our White Devil music.
So back to cooking. God damn it. As you can see, the liquid is more reduced down. There's not really much liquid in there. It's still really starchy, and kind of things are sticking together a little bit. And you're gonna just keep letting it go, man. So you're gonna just keep adding more and more liquid in. And I think the process was like is it 4 to 1?
I think it's 3 to 1, but you just keep adding liquid until it's done, basically.
I want to say it's okay. I'm pretty sure it is 3 to 1, but just in case, I always add like a little bit more liquid in, just so you can have some breathing room.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm going to be doing that will probably get frowned down by like a lot of classically trained French chefs. I want to be adding a little bit of heavy cream and Parmesan in mine because I think it just tastes better that way. Depending on what flavor profile of the dish you're going to be doing, definitely pick and choose which one you want to do. Me personally, I don't mind a little bit of heavy cream and Parmesan in mine and kind of treat it like a little pasta because it's almost kind of is like rice pasta. But I've met so many people who will like basically call you a fuck stick because you want to put cream and parm or like cream and cheese in your risotto. But I mean, it doesn't taste bad. It makes it, in my opinion, it makes it has like a better texture, has a better flavor. Like it's more of a fulfilling taste rather than just a plain risotto. So,
sure.
But like I said, man, don't quote me for it. I'm just doing what I like to do.
You know, like classically trained French chefs like to tell you that it doesn't need cream because the sauce that is made by stirring it in the chicken stock will actually make it creamy all on its own.
And it's true. Don't get me wrong, it is true. But we live in fucking Vancouver, man. People don't enjoy that shit, man. People want what they see on TV, and I'm pretty sure if you go watch like Rachel Ray or somebody, I'm not gonna like down them or anything, but like that's exactly what they do. So that's what people expect. You know how many times I've had a risotto sent back because it wasn't cheesy enough, and I was like, it's a fucking salmon risotto. What kind of cheese do you want? Oh, I want some cheddar, bro. That's fucking risotto.
Give me some yellow cheese.
And I like a lot of people too, I think this has a base flavor as far as like salt level goes because obviously with the chicken stock, there's going to be some salt content in there along, and the salted butter is going to have some salt in there. So I like to salt things after the final dish is done. Some people like to do things differently. I like to wait till everything is final and finished, so that way I can constantly adjust if I need to. I don't want to add everything in and be like, oh shit, that's too salty, and then be completely assed out about it. So
yeah, you can, like, you know, they say you can always add salt, but you cannot take it away.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, man, this is really it. It's a very slow process, and that's why a lot of people kind of mess up on it, because I feel like a lot of people get really impatient. A lot of people want to like get the shit done. But it's one of those things that you gotta get it to this point, put a lid on it, kind of set it, and kind of walk away for a little bit, go do other things. Just don't forget about it.
So my first meal that I remember that was actual like real food was ossobuco.
Ossobuco, you started out hard, man.
Yeah, I started in dishwashing, and it was like, gosh, I'll say like, it's probably like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was a summer night in July, and the other dishwasher just didn't show up. So I had done an interview, and literally 15 minutes later, they called me to go in. And so I head in there, and there's this huge pile of dishes to the damn ceiling. And it's a busy night, and I'm trying to bust out pans. This is the first time I've ever been in a professional kitchen. And so I'm trying to go as much as I can, and you know, nobody's really talking to me because nobody has time to talk to the dishwasher on a busy night. So I get the dishes down to a respectable level, and then all of a sudden Chef Aaron Guerra comes in, and he's in a panic, and he's like, we need you to go over to this other place. So it was the mess hall. So I go over to the mess hall, and they're doing like a presentation for like 35 people or whatever, and there's another huge pile of dishes. So I get done doing that pile of dishes, and he comes back with an ossobuco. And for people who don't know what ossobuco is, it's a braised pork or veal shank, and this one was the real deal. It was veal shank, and it's got like this beautiful slow roasted red sauce over the top of it, and it's served with creamy polenta, and I think it had some greens in it. But it was the first time I'd ever eaten like real chef quality food. My favorite food before that was like Taco Bell. Yeah. But like that was the first time I'd ever really tasted anything like that, and man, it really opened it up. And at first it was kind of awkward, because you know, we're used to eating these meals, this food that's like not food.
Right.
And tasting the vegetables in there was like a weird thing. Like, you know, we used to eat tomato soup that came out of a can, and the only thing that was in it was tomatoes.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, to have mirepoix in there and aromatics and all these things, it was just like a complete opening of what food was. And, you know, my mom could cook fairly good Italian food, but that's, you know, canned tomato sauce, yellow cheese, and pasta, you know.
I feel, man. I grew up eating struggle food, man. We grew up poor. Another little backstory about me, we grew up very poor. I mean, like, ducking the landlord, fucking having the lights off, having to, like, sneak in my back window so the landlord didn't see us, like, walk in. We grew up poor, so we didn't have the best quality of food. And, I mean, you just gotta make it, you gotta just make what you have, like, the best you can. So, like, I just grew up eating, like, really shitty food. So when we moved up to the Northwest, where, like, food is just fucking everywhere, like, fresh food, not just, like, canned food. Like, I didn't know what a fresh green bean was until I moved up here and I went to the store and there was just fucking green beans out there. I was like, what the fuck is that, man? So yeah, like that's one of the base reasons I wanted to, like, I started to cook too, is because, you know, growing up poor, you don't really get the best quality of food. You know, you see a lot of people in the South that are overweight because due to poverty and just like not able to like afford quality food. So just me being an adult, just trying to like plan my future out, one thing I wanted to do was just make sure I knew how to cook food. So when I start a family, I was gonna be able to produce good food for my family. I didn't want them to grow up poor. You know, I don't want my kids to grow up poor either. So I do this so I can just provide for the people I love in my life. I mean, I cook for my family all the time. I cook for, you know, when my son gets of age, I'm going to start cooking for him and everything, so we can understand the difference between like shitty Taco Bell food and then like a homemade risotto. There's a fucking difference. There's a amount of love and appreciation that you put in your food that kind of shows the people that you're around that you like, you know, you appreciate them or you love them. Like food just means more than food to me. And for a lot of people that I know, food is more than just food to a lot of people. So,
you know, people, an artichoke changed my life. Yeah. So, you know, people from the Northwest don't know this really, or you might have hear it on NPR or something. But there are places in the United States that are considered food deserts. Like you have trouble getting fresh food in these certain places in the United States that are considered food deserts. And that's crazy to me. Being, you know, living up here my entire life, Like there are places where you can only get canned foods and dried foods and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was just tough, man. I mean, just imagine growing up here for like, I would say 14 to 15 years of my life where all my vegetables and fruits, or like majority of my vegetables and fruits, came out of a can or a bag, man. Like, oh, go get the green beans, you go to the cabinet. Nowadays, like, go get the green beans, you go to the fucking fridge, you know? It's a dramatic difference, man. It's just weird to think about. Canned green beans, they're just...
It's so mushy.
You can gum them. That's fucking gross.
Yeah.
So going back to the risotto, like I said, man, it's still going to be a little time process. We probably have to do this another like 2 or 3 more times in order to get the proper texture that we want. So I'm going to just keep on going. So there's barely any liquid in there. You can still see it's really starchy. It's not soupy whatsoever, but it's still a nice thick kind of pudding almost. But I'm going to just keep adding this in. I'm going to keep at the same heat. Actually, we probably needed to do this like 1 more time.
I think that's about it. The real art in here is to try and figure out where the balance is. Because if you add too much liquid and it stops absorbing it, it could turn into mush really quick. And it's hard to get the liquid back out of it once you've already got it out there. Because we're making a sauce with this slurry of starches that's coming off of the rice. So if you add too much liquid in there, it's trouble. Yeah. We also don't want it to just be like mush. The rice should still have some texture to it.
And a lot of people too, like a lot of people work in kitchens when they have to do their risottos. Say for instance, we're just prepping out for a busy night. Risotto is one of those things that you just can't cook and keep hot because obviously it's a grain. So what a lot of chefs and cooks do in restaurants, we'll cook it to like 85 to like 90% where it still has a little bite, and we'll put it on a big sheet tray and we'll chill it down. And so that way when we heat it back up, it's not all the way cooked, and so we have to cook it a little bit more so to be able to reach that perfect like texture. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of people do it all the time where they cook their risotto 100% done. They'll basically finish it ready to serve, and then they'll chill it down and reheat it, and they wonder why their risotto is just like a big thing of prison slop. Like,
mushy, starchy, sloppy.
It doesn't even look like rice anymore. It just looks like paste, and you don't want that, man. So all depending on what aspect you're doing, whether it be like serving for a big party or just like cooking for a family dinner, always just think ahead of time, man. Think about what you're going to be doing with the dish that you're going to be serving, and I think that's where a lot of people mess up at. They don't really think for the future; they just kind of think in the now, which is it's a dead end way to go if you're going to be a successful chef. So.
I mean, if you do it to like 90%, even for home cooks, you can cook your risotto to about 90%, and you could chill it and you can hold it for 3-4 days if you wanted, and then you could just revitalize it with a little bit more stock or a little bit of cream, whatever you want. And it'll come right back, and you can eat it down the road if you want.
Also, a little pro tip too, what a lot of people do with leftover risotto. If I make, say for instance, I make risotto, I make too much, and we don't sell out of it. By like the 3rd or 4th day, where it starts to get like a little bit too old for most people. Like a lot of people don't want to serve. They are like for a professional kitchen, you don't want to serve food that's going to be more than like 3 days old because that's kind of like the life window.
Yep.
What a lot of people try to, or I like to do it a lot because it's an easy sell, especially if you're like working at a place that kind of has like a bar. Just make fried risotto balls, man. Just roll them up in a little bit of little egg wash and some flour and some panko and fry them up. Yeah. It makes like the best little appetizer. Put like a little tomato sauce or some kind of like sauce to kind of like cope with it, and you now have a brand new appetizer that nobody really thinks to they don't put 2 and 2 together. I think you just made it for that specific dish alone. So
for sure. You could also do risotto cakes too.
You can do risotto cakes. You can do a lot of things with risotto, man, and just don't overcook it. Don't burn it, man. Put some love into it.
Risotto is one of those things that like it seems like it's this daunting thing to do, and it's like scary, and but risotto. The reason why I think the reason why Duck chose it tonight is because it's one of those fundamental things. Like it's a lot easier than you think it is, but it's like a simple, easy dish that you can make at home.
And it's also one of the things that I don't really watch too much food TV nowadays. Whenever I watch like a Gordon Ramsay show where he has like Iron Kitchen or not Iron Kitchen, but whatever fucking show he does now.
Cubed carrots.
Yeah, they
dude, you remember that?
They two things they cannot cook is risotto and scallops. And to me, those 2 things alone are some of the easiest things to cook. I don't understand how you just fuck risotto up, man. You sit there, you literally just watch it and you stir it. That's all you really got to do. But people can't do it. So hoping people see me do this, and I mean it'll kind of open up how easy it is, man. It's really not hard. So.
Well, they don't put people on that show that can cook. that show's about drama. It's not about cooking.
I know, but like to the public eye, nobody really understands that. But to like us, it's like you see people like undercook the risotto, and you're like, how the fuck did you do that? Man? Are you stupid? So we always do a little sample. So we're there. We're like 80% there. Still has a little bite to it, but I'm gonna just let this go down as soon as it reduces down a little bit. I'm gonna add the rest of my ingredients in, and all it's gonna just be is I'm gonna add a splash of heavy cream, a handful of Parmesan, and I'm gonna just finish it off with some fresh green onions for color, and we'll be done with that, man. So, so obviously we have to wait on Adam's dish to get done, but I don't think that's gonna be for like another hour or so.
Yeah. Well, you know, we can start treating our greens too.
Yeah.
I think it'll all come together.
So actually, matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now once we have some liquid in there. And like I said, man, you don't need the fancies of the whipping cream. This thing cost me like $2, you know. So not really trying to impress the crowd here with my mega fancy organic, you know, heavy cream that was from the.
It all comes from cow's tits, guys.
Right.
Think about that.
So like I said, you saw how much I put in. I probably put maybe like a quarter cup. Not a lot. Just enough to kind of like give it that extra like fat binding kind of content to it. It kind of like whitens it up a little bit, so that it means like all the other things I'm going to put in there is going to make the colors pop a little bit more. And also it's going to just make the flavors kind of merge together, because a lot of people don't understand that fat is as far as like your palate on your tongue, it spreads out, so it's more it's more fulfilling on your palate than anything else. So honestly, it just makes people accept risotto a little bit more because of the added fat content that goes along with it. And also, there's a lot of people who like the moisture consistency on their risotto different. To me, I don't like my risotto too dry. I see people cook their risotto to the point where like you can scoop it and like it'll hold its form. I like mine to be like a little loose, so it you can kind of taste the delicacy and the time and effort that I put into it, rather than being like a risotto that you get. It looks like a scoop of mashed potatoes. Like, don't do that, man. It's gross.
Thick ass. That's because a lot of times people will use their risotto as a starch for an entree, and a lot of times you don't want the sauce or whatever from the entree to mix in with your risotto. So people will cook it a little bit like thicker, but it's pretty gross. I mean, at that point, you should literally just make rice.
Yeah. And I'm one of the people who I believe risotto is a dish in itself. I don't like to like serve. I don't like to be like, oh, here's a piece of seared salmon with like, you know, some braised greens and some risotto on the bottom. I think risotto is the main dish itself because of how much time and effort it is. Like, I understand like having like, you know, a rice be a side or whatever, but risotto, man, risotto has so much like delicacy and so much like love and effort into it. People need to appreciate it more by a dish of itself, rather than being like an additive to like a main course. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's just too much. If anything, if you want to do like a salmon and risotto thing, just do like a smoked salmon risotto, like some kind of like salmon inside the risotto, rather than being like a side of it. You know, make the risotto just the main attraction.
It's the show, man.
And I mean, honestly, if you're a chef or like you work in the kitchen, it's probably gonna cost you way less money too, man. You know, you can sort of like, honestly, at the restaurant that I worked in, you can easily sell I don't know, a 7 or 8 ounce bowl of risotto for like $20+, and it probably only costs you like $3 to make. So there's your money right there.
Well, I mean, and that's a good tip for at home too, because honestly, you can make this big pot of risotto for $3, you know, and that'll eat, you know, you can eat on that for a couple days. And you can add all different kinds of things in this. You can add pumpkin seeds, you can add pumpkin, you can add, you know, anything that you can imagine into a risotto. I mean, you don't want to overload it too much because, you know, once again, the delicacy of it or whatever. Or whatever. I sound like an asshole. Whatever the fuck he was talking about. But so, you know, but you can add like even spinach, like the Florentine method. You can even add a little bit of spinach in there. There's all kinds of things that you can do with this risotto to spruce it back up if you're tired of, you know, just your regular mushroom risotto. And like one of my favorite things is obviously rosemary.
Alright, so as of right now, the risotto's done. After the residual heat continues to let it cook over and kind of let it do its thing, it's going to be done. So within like the next like 2 or 3 minutes, risotto's going to be done. So I reduced the heat on it dramatically. It's down to like on the lowest setting possible. and that's all it's really going to need. As you can see, this is the texture that I like my risotto. You can see it's not soupy, but it's not like super stiff. It's like a nice creamy. It's like a pasta, man. Like that's kind of how you have to treat it. It's like almost like a pasta. And I'm going to just kind of let it do its own thing, kind of let that residual heat finish cooking it up. I'm going to add a small handful of Parmesan cheese just so it kind of helps bind it up a little bit. And we're going to be done after that, man. I'm going to add some of these green onions in to kind of help pop that color, kind of offset it a little bit. I don't know why I'm using tongs to fucking stir risotto.
It's like working on the line, right?
Yeah.
We use tongs for everything on the line. Tongs are like your hands. I can like rear children with fucking tongs.
Fucking tie my shoes with tongs.
Yeah. Swaddle babies.
So this is basically done. This is like the perfect texture to me, like the consistency of it. I can like draw it down the middle, and it still has enough liquid to close the gap, and it's not too thick. It's perfect to me. All I really have to do now is just adjust the flavor. So I'm gonna need some tasting spoons, whatever, if I can taste it.
Right here.
Like I said, I do all my seasoning at the end. It's always easy to kind of do that, in my opinion, because you know what flavors you're going to be getting. One of the worst things as a chef is like adding all these things that you're going to think is still going to be able to taste good, and then you taste it at the end, you're like, oh shit.
It's garbage. It tastes like
vomit. What happened there? You know, always kind of do things at the end because it's easier to add things in rather than to try to take it out. So, But yeah, man. Just a little salt and we're good.
Just a little salt.
Doesn't really need much. I didn't add any salt whatsoever. It's all about the natural flavor, like the sodium level of like your stock that you're going to be doing, or the saltiness of the butter, or anything that you add in there, like the cheese, the butter, the cream. All things have like a little bit of sodium in it to kind of help preserve it. So you always have to keep that in mind.
We do have hot sauces in here if you want. We got vinegars, anything you can think of.
Yeah. And since there's so much fat in this risotto as well, that's one thing that you could probably do to kind of help, cut some of the fattiness of it. Vinegars, acid, anything that has like an acid level or like a citric level will definitely help cut some of that fat out to kind of like make your dish taste more balanced. Because one thing you don't want is having things to be like over something, it's like over fatty because there's too much cream, there's too much butter, there's too much fat content in general. Only reason I'm not going to adjust it now is because it's going to be a composed dish. So we're going to be putting like the braised greens, we're going to be putting the short ribs on top. So you have to keep all those things in mind once you make your composed dish. Now if I was serving this by myself, I would adjust the fat level and I would adjust the acidic level to it as well. But since I'm not serving it by myself, I'm going to just kind of let this do its own thing. But yeah, that's really it, man. Word. Like I said, all this cost me less than like $15 to make, but I mean, with this pot of risotto alone, I could probably get like 3 orders of like a 7-ounce portion of risotto.
That's pretty too.
Sell it for like $23, maybe throw some fried leeks, take it back to the 1990s, throw some fried leeks on top.
It's pretty. You can definitely tell you might have done this a time or two. So you can see that sheen on there. That's beautiful. You can see the actual rice grains still in there, and these little ingredients aren't done to death. They're done like in the perfect amount. It's a beautiful risotto.
Thank you, sir.
Now I'm going to start working greens, and the way I do greens is either with bacon fat or flat out bacon. So I'm going to add a little bit of bacon in there. That's thick cut pepper bacon that I've just kind of cubed. And we're going to start working that, get that going, render it out a little bit. And the fat's actually going to help to coat the greens in a smoky flavor. Princess Natasha, what's up? So, good thing that you came in, because we're making risotto tonight with my good friend Carl Duck Henderson III.
True.
He's a great chef in his own right, and you can actually just literally make this a vegetarian dish by adding vegetable stock instead of chicken stock, and it's still just as delicious.
And, because I've done it before, because I've had to make vegetarian or even vegan risottos before. If you're dying for like that extra like fat content, don't use almond milk. Don't use any kind of those like weird ass nutty milk. Just use coconut milk. It has like the best fat content.
Oh yeah.
And depending on what kind of flavor profile you're gonna go for, it usually goes along with a lot of it. But the coconut milk after a certain while kind of like loses its potency. So I mean, you can still kind of taste the coconut in it, but like if you like top it heavy with like cheese and like herbs and everything, you're not gonna be able to taste shit after a while. So
yeah. So now Princess Natasha is a special case of vegetarian.
okay.
Now this is crazy to me. She has never tasted meat of any kind. That's almost amazing. That's such a good streak.
Were your parents vegetarians too or vegans? Because that seems a little hard to do to kind of
So
not eat meat your entire life.
So as the story goes, as far as I know anyway, her parents used to be overweight.
Gotcha.
And when they had her, they decided that they were gonna. No, they weren't. Okay. Or they just decided they wanted to be healthier or something like that. That's the way I got it. But I'm sure she'll let us know. But yeah, so they wanted to be healthier after they had their child, so they decided to change their lifestyle up. And so there they are, 25 years later. But that's amazing to me because I think of things like smoking weed, right?
Yeah.
Everybody eventually is going to try it at least once, or smoking a cigarette perhaps. Now imagine that a cigarette was bacon.
Yeah.
Like just think of that. Like you've never tried bacon, and everybody's always talking about how amazing bacon is. And that just blows my mind that you've never even like thought to taste it. That's willpower. It's pretty awesome.
I will admit, bacon is overrated in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah. People go like ape shit over bacon. I'm just like, what the? Is it really? It's not. I don't know. Like I like bacon. Don't get me wrong. I like bacon like the next man, but I see people like obsessed over it, where it's like the greatest food of all time. I'm just like, eh.
So at the same time, like I think you get kind of jaded as a chef. You really do. You get kind of jaded because we deal with bacon all day, trays and pounds, hundreds of pounds of bacon in all different kinds of ways, bacon in different stuff. You get you get bored with it even. I remember the first time I ate bacon as a child. It was like a life-changing experience. You're like, this is delicious. I'll eat as much as this as I can.
Oh.
And yeah, you don't know what you're missing, but like,
Green Leaves is now following.
hey, Green Leaves, thanks for the follow. It's lovely to have you here at the agency. We try to do this 4 nights a week. I got to be honest with you, I'm running out of money, so it's going to be getting pretty thin here, and we're going to be doing some very not extravagant dishes.
Here's some potato soup.
Yeah, but I'll keep going. I'll keep going. So the bacon has started to render. It's getting a little crispy on the sides, and that's good. I want to use this fat as the fat that I'm going to braise the greens in. And I've taken the liberty of soaking the greens in salt water, and I kept some of the salt water over just in case I want to use that as the braising liquid. But I might actually just add a little bit of sherry to deglaze this. I think that might be good. But, so now that I don't want this bacon to cook to the point where it's burnt, so I'm going to add the greens. They're already rinsed and they've been soaking in the salt water. And I'm just going to add this in here to kind of break up the heat, honestly, of the pan. Because if the pan goes much longer, it's going to start to burn the bacon, and it's going to stop tasting good and start tasting burnt. So, got the greens in here. Now, heat is what I'm looking for. So even though I stopped the cooking process of the bacon, I want the heat to get back up as quickly as possible so that I can deglaze with my sherry. So you're going to have these little bits of bacon in there that are going to add smokiness and that bit of fat content that you're going to be missing from just solid greens. You can add butter if you like. Anything like that, really, you can add to that and kind of like if you're going for a vegetarian thing or something like that, and you don't want animal fats, even vegan, if you don't want butter in there, you can do that. But this is kind of like honestly, it's like the chef's crutch. You know, we use a ton of butter, we use bacon because those are things that we know are delicious and a lot of people are going to like it. But you don't have to do that. Matter of fact, we're probably going to do a vegetarian episode here pretty soon, and I'm trying to get my friend Bo on lock, and he does Korean food, and he owns a place called Rice Junkies. I think they have 2 of them now on Hawthorne.
I only know that one.
Yeah, and but yeah, he owns that place, and he also was a sushi chef for a number of years, so we might even get him in here to do some sushi.
Should get Caroline to do it.
Caroline went back to Virginia, I think. Did she come back out here? Yeah.
So what I see, she's always like bouncing back and forth. I haven't talked to her forever. I just followed her on social media. So.
I think Caroline would enjoy this show. Caroline is a young lady that we used to work with, and she had a real hunger for knowledge and cooking. And she actually started out as an expo, which is a front of the house position, kind of like in between. And she just decided that she wanted to cook one day, and she hopped up on the line like she was a champion, you know? Like
Wait for it.
There it goes.
Fucking show up. Up there it is.
Yeah. So have you seen any of this Fractured But Whole games? Yeah, Bacon Bits are totally vegan. You just pretended to put half and half in that one. So in an attempt to make me break vegan edge. If you haven't watched Scott Pilgrim yet, do yourself a favor and go watch that movie.
Chicken parm isn't vegan?
Yeah. It's milk and eggs, bitch. Gelato's not vegan?
Milk and eggs, bitch.
The vegan police, you better watch out, they're coming for you. So I'm gonna let the water, I'm trying to get it to cook off. And that's the reason why I've taken everything and putting it on the sides there. That's actually a technique that they kind of use in wok cookery, where they'll take all the vegetables and put them on the side so that they continue to steam, but you can actually use the middle for, say, adding an egg or something like that. Of course, Greg's favorite movie is Scott Pilgrim because he's like my buddy. And we both have the same favorite movie, and we all like the same things.
To be honest, though, Scott Pilgrim is a fucking great-ass movie.
Greg, why don't you call? You never call. You never write.
I'm a fucking rock star. I can hear a girl.
It's because he has to deal with me.
All right. So you can see it's starting to dry up there, and that's the perfect time for me to add my sherry and deglaze. I don't want it to get too dark. I want to add that sherry right in the middle where all of the fond is starting to form in the middle. That's little bits of bacon, you know, the seasoning from the bacon, good stuff. And I'm going to just kind of use my wooden spoon. Bear in mind, always use a wooden spoon for this because you don't want to use metal utensils on Teflon or it'll scrape off and you'll be eating it, and that's no good. So, gonna make sure all of the good bits are coming up off the bottom of the pan. And you can kind of feel it as you scrape along there with the wooden spoon. So this is a mixture of collard greens, mustard greens, and turnip greens. And I know some chefs will literally stop the cooking right here, which is gross. These things are very fibrous.
Especially when you get down to the stems too, like these stems right here.
They're hard.
Yeah, you're gonna be chewing up for a minute now. Like, I mean, I can't even break that open with the wooden spoon. So, time is definitely.
Crack star! There it is. star. Just subscribe. Thank you very much, Will. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the layouts. Thank you for supporting the stream. And now, you are officially an agent of the agency. Welcome. Come over here and do my emotes.
I need my own emote.
Oh yeah, man. Well, you know, we might even get you a regular on here. I think people are responding pretty well to Carl. What do you guys think? Do you think we should have Duck on here on the regular?
They're gonna be like, nah, man.
Crickets.
Nah, get his black ass the fuck up out of here.
He's kind of black.
I'm also part Korean. So
He is. I don't even mind watching some broke meals. It's good to see them creative.
I can cook some struggle meals.
Yeah, we can have Carl's Struggle Thursdays.
Have a fucking top ramen cook-off too. Can fucking make the fucking
don't even mess with me.
the best 13-cent pack of top ramen.
Don't even mess with me, man. I got ramen skills for days.
Maybe that should be like a little segment where we have like an Iron segment or like an Iron Chef segment. Have like a vote. Deadline ends on Wednesday. That way by Thursday we will have a thing that we have to cook upon.
Well, we've got the best critic in the world in house, Thekus. She will critique anything. She's the only person in the world who has ever spit out my food, and I still kept her. She's gonna try the risotto.
What was that, too?
Now that we got Carl sweating, we're gonna try the risotto.
She can spit it out. It's fine.
Oh my, dreadful!
I'm pulling it down.
That's a big ass bite
It is a
too.
big ass
I made it a little big. It's a little big.
Okay, guys. See, this is the
Here's a bowl.
big ass bite that he gave me. Taste test, right?
Taste test, serving, whatever. It's all the same.
That is really good.
Success.
That's damn
Success.
good.
Pekas loves it.
I'm okay with the big ass spoon.
Yeah.
I'm usually the
Yep.
big spoon, but whatever.
You're probably pretty hungry.
I just had sushi before I got there. That shit was fucking dank.
I saw that on your
It
Instagram.
was fucking Dankenstein.
So anyway, have you been watching that Fractured But Whole game?
I've seen. Of course, I've watched this little Asian girl fucking stream it. And it was
So it's gonna be the little Asian girl. Come on.
It was pretty legit, but I'd seriously. I bought a shit ton of games.
That show, that game is like a show. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh no!
So I'm turning the temperature here way down, so to a nice little simmer. I've added a little bit of the salt water back into it. I'm just gonna let that go, low and slow.
No, I bought so many goddamn games on yesterday.
What'd you get?
Got Dishonored 2, got Injustice 2, I think I got Grand Theft Auto because I just don't have it. I don't know. I fucking posted it on social media. But I don't know. I stole Assassin's Creed because I refuse to fucking pay for that game ever again. I stole. What else did I steal? It was Assassin's Creed. There's another game that I didn't want to buy. I was going to steal it. Destiny. I stole Destiny 2.
What? I got Destiny too.
I fucking hate Destiny, but I was like, everybody said it's really good, so I was like,
It's alright.
I seriously got, I don't know, I did like the first little whatever, got past the little dialogue, and I don't know. But I literally have so many games right now, so.
It's honestly more of the same.
Yeah, that's why I didn't fucking buy it. Because they're going to do that one shit where they're going to be like, oh, buy the full game, but then 2 months later you can buy the full game plus another full game.
Just Sam 3 is gonna snitch on you.
Sam, shut the fuck up, bro. Alright. I just posted this on my Snapchat, and I'm pretty sure that's the Sam that I know. Little white boy Sam. I'm gonna have to knock you out.
Boy Sam. I don't know too many Sams that aren't little white boys.
Sam is a little white boy. He's funny as hell. He's like a little homie. Ooh, thick.
She says thick.
Like thick me.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get a chef coat made that has #thick on the back of it. Because they were making a game out of counting how many times I said thick in a single stream. I want it to be kind of thick.
You have to use 2 C's, man.
Food Channel TV show as well, but YouTube very iffy on copying.
Okay, so I'll call it Thicus's random ass shit vibes.
So
Sam, you gotta schmeat, bro.
Look,
like, don't even.
Look, there's no such thing as a copyright for black box, okay? We use that term in the kitchen all the time, and it's been around way before YouTube. I know because I've been around way before YouTube. And we've been using that as a challenge, as the name for a challenge for a long time. The black box basically is a whatever you got of ingredients that are randomly chosen, and then we have to do something with it. So there's no way that they copyrighted the term black box.
Also, black women have been having black boxes since the beginning of time.
God damn it, Carl.
So fuck off.
It always comes back to
No, I
box
said
with
mystery
him.
box challenge, not black
The
box.
Oh,
box.
mystery box, whatever.
That should be a challenge. We should just line up a bunch of girls with different ethnicities and be like,
No.
Oh, what?
what is this? That's Asian pussy right there.
See what I said? You see what I told you? You can't take chefs anywhere.
You just can't take me anywhere.
We're trying to have a nice stream here.
No.
And he's talking about
I asked
lady
before.
parts.
I asked before this shit got started. Was it a PG stream? You said no. So
Yeah, but I
I'm
didn't-
taking it to the next level. Mystery box. Guess.
I added a little bit of butter in there because why the hell not?
To your greens.
A little bit of butter to the greens, yeah.
Can't beat it. I mean, eat that fat, man.
Yeah, bacon, butter, all those things.
Don't make fun of my mystery box challenge. Just accept it. Just go along with it. It's fine.
I know. Can you believe this
They're
guy?
making fun of me.
Oh.
You see, because I said mystery box challenge, and they said, "Oh, that's a copyright."
Oh.
That the term mystery box challenge is probably a copyright.
So
Mystery
just
box.
to clarify, my mystery box challenge is.
We know what your mystery box challenge is.
Oh,
God damn.
I'm gonna lose on purpose so I can keep coming back.
You can't invite
Hey,
can't invite black folks nowhere.
it's your fault, man. I came over. I'm playing by the rules. You didn't really establish many rules.
I guess I didn't establish enough rules.
You didn't say anything about no mystery box challenges.
We're learning as we go, guys.
After I leave, you're like, do not invite Carl's black ass in again. Fucking sticky note on your door so you remember to see it every day before you leave.
I can't believe you fucking invited that guy here. He was talking about vaginas and tasting them.
It's like if this is your door right here, right next to the wall is gonna be a picture of me that says "not welcome." I'm gonna like knock on the door. You're gonna be like, "Oh shit, no, not today, Carl."
Oh, hi, Carl. No, we're not streaming today. I see you streaming right now.
Adam's not here. Adam, you're talking to me. I'm his twin brother at Dom.
Yes.
What? The fuck off. Let me stream.
Maybe it's time we check out that braising, see how it's going.
Yeah. That little baby pieces, they very well could be very close.
Yeah, they're pretty small. Now, definitely be careful where you're putting the glass.
Because I've already told you my horror story about the glass shattering because the temperature was too different. I made this delicious chanterelle risotto. Or no, chanterelle, what am I thinking? What was that thing I made? It was a bread pudding. Chanterelles, apple sausage, bread pudding for Thanksgiving. And that thing, I set it on the counter like that, shouldn't be a problem, and the whole dish shattered everywhere.
I can only imagine.
Oh man, I was so upset.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't be a cook or a chef if you didn't have fucking battle scars, man.
I just about gave up, dude.
Look at all this shit, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm about to show you guys something.
He's gonna show you his scars. These are marks of honor, by the
I'm
way.
gonna take my watch
Okay,
off.
hold on. Let me get you switched over before you show yours.
Which camera are you gonna go to?
To the face one.
This one. All right. So working in the kitchen, I've been doing this for what? I don't. It's between, depending on when I want to consider it professional, but between 13 and 15 years. I'm 29, but between the years, all these have become a thing. Burn marks. I mean, I look like a suicide patient, like cutting for beaver and shit, but like fucking burns. This big ass one right here is a fucking burn. Burns, cuts, burns. Like you just look at your arms. There's no arm hair whatsoever. It's just burns and scars. And you know
Man,
what?
drop a beat for this guy.
I wouldn't fucking change it for the world, man. Like, if I didn't know how to cook, I don't know what I would do. Like, I would probably I'll be a SoundCloud rapper.
I got one. I got this one right here. Yeah, I'm actually careful in the kitchen, unlike some people.
Shut the fuck up. Fucking being all prestigious and shit. No one cares about your
Prestigious, dude. I make $16 an hour flipping hamburgers, man. Come
whatever.
on.
Your fucking non-burning ass.
There you go. They got a little bit left to go. They're not 100% all the way. But yeah, they're getting there, man. We're gonna put it in for a little while longer, get it good and tender, and yeah, after that.
That's what she said.
That's not what she said.
I'm telling you, bro, she did. She was like, just put it in a little bit longer so it'll be a little tender.
You dirty dog.
And I'm gonna be like, okay.
Okay.
Will do.
Make sure you get up in the fucking camera and say it. And I was like, okay.
I thought you were gonna say something else. Get off in them guts. That was my favorite phrase for like the longest time.
Get in them guts.
Get in them guts.
Gross.
It is gross. That's why I stopped saying it.
Gross.
I heard myself one day and I was like, hey, what the fuck?
God, even I'm creeping myself out. All right, back in there. The greens now, they can cook, as like Carl was saying, for a long time. This thing still isn't real broke down.
You can hear it crunch.
It's got some crunch to it. Flavor is on point though.
That's all that really matters to some people. Like, it's all about the flavor.
It gets like a liquor almost. The greens, like, they're actually really high in natural MSG, which a lot of people don't know that MSG naturally occurs in food.
And not just any food. It's like almost like, I would say like almost 75 to 80% of food has natural MSG in it. Like, I would say majority of your produce has natural MSG, like tomatoes, onions, all these things that people like, oh, no MSG, I'm going to get cancer and high blood pressure. Bitch, shut up. Like, it's already in your food.
So, yeah. Kale, definitely. We went over that a little bit. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I don't know.
MSG is delicious. People just
MSG is literally the chemical that makes your brain think that things are delicious. Okay, they don't cause headaches, but the thing is, a lot of those things are kind of like a placebo. And then you also got to remember that synthesized monosodium glutamate is 100 times more than you would ever get in these greens. And the reason why you get headaches is because it actually can burn out the receptors in your brain that tell you that food is delicious. So, if you abuse MSG on the daily, you're going to have brain problems. You're going to have headaches. You're going to have vision problems. But for the most part, people, when they're like, oh, is there MSG in this because I got a headache? You probably got a headache from something else.
Also, a lot of people don't understand that, like, I mean, even if you do consume a bunch of MSG, all you really got to do is just drink water to flush it out of your system. That's really it. A lot of people who, like, always... And just put it in perspective. The people who use the most MSG and most, like, Asian foods, I mean, that's where it all kind of... People started noticing it. There's a high sodium level, high MSG level. A lot of these people are going in there drinking, like, all these, like, sugary drinks, all these, like, sodas and everything. They're not really drinking water. You can literally eat a meal full of MSG, drink maybe like a couple, like a pint or two of water, you're fine. Like, you're not, it's literally that easy, but us Americans, we're just lazy and don't drink water on a daily basis. So.
Oh, lazy American. That's racist. It's alright, he's Korean, I gotta pass. That's so racist.
Are there any cooks or chefs in the chat?
I don't know. Who else in there?
I don't know. There's 5 people now.
They're dropping out. We're dropping like flies, Carl.
Because we're just talking at this point. There's no more cooking to be done.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where the
Let's
meal
saute
is.
some vodka. That'll get people's attention.
Saute some vodka.
Alright, you want to cook like a real chef?
You want to cook like a real chef? We're just gonna go ahead and drink this bottle of whiskey and
Go pass out and sexually harass one of the expos.
the hostesses, but you can't be any older than 17.
Well, to be fair, a couple of our regulars that normally come in are abroad for streaming right now.
Ah, yeah, that is true. We got quite a bank of like cooks and chefs that come in here. Actually, 5 or 6 off the top of my head. Princess Natasha is actually pretty accomplished cook herself.
Let's battle, bro. I'll black box you any day.
Bread. No.
We should start black boxing for people's knives. It's like street racing for
Racing for
tickets.
slips, yeah.
Let's black box for knives. I got a bunch of shuns and fucking globals I got up for grabs that I don't use anymore.
All right, man, I can use those.
Battle me, bro. Any one of y'all. I'm down.
I'll take you.
Anytime.
Any day, you can give me them knives.
I seriously, my bag or my knife bag just stays in my car now. I don't even get to use them.
You know what? I still haven't lost a box, ever.
Really?
Yeah.
I have. I lost a Brandon a fuck ton of times because I was young and arrogant.
I never actually boxed Brandon, I don't think.
Wait a minute. You guys have never boxed each other?
We have. Long ago.
Did we?
I think so.
When?
Grand House days.
I do not remember that.
Way long.
I got really big into black boxing when I was at Columbia Edgewater because Brandon was just being a dick. And I was like, fuck y'all, fucking battle. He just kept pushing my buttons, so I thought I was like, I had something to prove to everybody. So I literally challenged everybody.
That's what he wanted. That's how Brandon operates. Brandon will force the good chef out of you.
And then I didn't lose to anybody except Brandon. I beat everybody else. There's this kid named Brandon Sato. I beat him with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Why?
Because he was a fucking stupid.
Why did everybody hate him so much?
I don't know. I don't know. From what I haven't seen him since like that time, but from what people say, he actually like got better at his job. But like at the time being, he was just some fucking little punk ass little 18-year-old kid who right out of culinary school said he was gonna make triple X fucking six figures. He was gonna be
That happens a lot, man.
right. So he was all arrogant and like act like his shit didn't stink. And so we black box. He challenged me to a black box, and the mystery ingredient was grapes. So his dumb ass decided to just take because like I said, it's Columbia Edgewater. There's always 6 things of fruit up there. He just made like I forgot what it's called, but when you take a bunch of like an abundance of fruit and you just mix it with like fresh whipped cream and like that's what
Ambrosia.
that's what he fucking did. And I just took grapes and I made my own jelly. And then I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I used grape butter, which was fucking delicious.
Grape butter.
Yep.
Interesting.
I kind of cheated though because we had this sour grape, like I don't even know what the fuck it was. It was just like powder. And I did that. And I just took grapes and I like crushed them up and I made like a butter out of it. And then I put it on my bread and I made like that was my butter. Then I had like some fresh peanut butter that I made and I just did like normal grape jelly that I made. And that's how I won. Because fuck that.
Well, that shows ingenuity there. So that's why you got your points. It wasn't because it was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's because you made almost all of the components from scratch, which shows that you're a superior cook.
I just didn't fucking like that guy. That's all that really mattered. That guy was a fucking tool. But like I said, Brandon said he's gotten like way better.
Well, time changes people. The only person I'm sure that time hasn't changed is probably Adrian Herdener.
Oh God.
I hope you're watching right now because you suck. You always did.
Dr. Jones!
Dr. Jones!
I literally threatened to like kill that guy on the walk-in. This is like back in my homophobe days, but like.
Dr. Indiana Jones in the chat.
What up? I don't know you, but what up?
He's a regular. He's a great streamer. He streams games and he's hilarious. He does all kinds of cool voices and super cool guy, man. And it's always a pleasure to have you in here.
But can you do a Link voice?
You know, you probably could.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
Yeah, alright. Dr. Indiana Jones is an official agent, by the way.
Nice.
That means he is a subscriber. And he gets access to the
exclusive dick pics that you send out every day?
I do. Also the private Discord channel.
Uh-huh.
Dick pics is actually the next level up.
Oh. You guys gotta get on that dick pic level. Subscribe.
Dick pic level, guys.
Dickpicdaily.com.
Morty, you gotta get on that. You gotta get on that dick pic level, Morty.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
I don't know, man. It's alright.
Come on, Morty. Come on, Morty.
I don't know about this, Rick.
Oh, God. I'm actually contemplating now.
Subscribing for that dick pic.
Morty, you gotta look at my junk, Morty. You subscribe.
you send or you just post 5-second dick videos to whatever your Discord, but you have to talk like fucking like Rick and Morty characters. You have to be Poopy Butthole, like Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Doc, you made that your first tier? You gotta make them work a little bit, man. Come on. First tier junk pics? Come on.
Well, okay, so there's 3 tiers, but there's also 3 parts of your genitalia, technically. So you get tier 1 is straight dick pics. Tier 2 is like dick, balls, and taint.
Don't say butthole.
And then tier 3 is dick, balls, taint, and asshole. Like,
God damn it, come on.
You gotta get one of those 360 cameras and you just put it down there.
These are nice folks here. Okay?
Well, I'm sorry, bro. Y'all, I have the fucked up, most disturbed mind in the world.
So now you know what real chefs are like. As soon as I turn off the camera, I'm exactly like that too.
I'm not afraid to be who I am, unlike some people.
I am what I am, and that's all that I am. Oh, he's table throwing. He's here.
Bro, just accept.
It's all right, dude. It's all right. You know you're gonna get a bunch more subscribers, and you can change the tiers now. You know.
I'm pretty sure you guys know this too, but like we talk so dirty, and yet when you guys go out to eat, these are just dirty motherfuckers who cook your guys' food.
We cook your food.
It's nothing but dick and ass. And
we're basically like disgusting homo pirates. That's basically what cooks. Yeah, that's basically what cooks your food. I've humped other men.
I have too.
Through their clothes. Okay, don't get gross.
I've groped a couple guys before, willingly. I smiled while doing it. So
sometimes I sniff my coworkers when I go past. It's okay, dude.
You've never worked in a kitchen until you played gay chicken and lost. That's a fucking fact.
You better lose too. It stops at penetration. You better lose.
It's like, man, you've been struggling for like 5 minutes. You still haven't had no homo. I'm getting a little weirded out. Fuck. Just say no homo, man.
Oh, no. Aaron says that must be the love they talk about.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we're gay, bro. I don't fucking care. All cooks are gay. You can't just walk up to like a normal person and be like, look at my balls, and be like, okay. You can go to any guy in the kitchen like, dude, look at my balls, and they're gonna be like, dude, okay, let's go. Whip it up. Just passive aggressively, just like smoking a cigarette, like looking at you, just like,
You call that dick and balls?
Let me show you my turtle.
You want to unleash the fury.
And this is why I say we should just have cameras posted up on most industry kitchens. This shit can be a reality show. I'd rather watch this than the fucking Kardashians, bro.
You know, there's actually a couple of like streams on Twitch that are like that. There's one that's actually like called Grub Truckers, and it's just like a food truck, and they even got like cameras posted up outside and stuff. And that's pretty interesting, but they never show the food. Like, I didn't even know what the hell they cooked for the longest time.
You ever watch that show, Blue Mountain State?
Yes.
So it's a show about football, but they rarely show football. They just show the life of football players. Mm-hmm. It's the greatest show of all time. I swear, I love that show.
I've seen Grub Truckers a couple times. It doesn't really hold my interest, I guess.
She said the audio's getting fuzzy.
Getting fuzzy?
I'm black, so I slur a lot, so that's what that is.
That's probably what it is I think he's just breaking the microphone.
I also slur.
You slur a little.
I slur. I have a list. Okay.
Well, part of it too is we actually don't know which one of the cameras is picking up the audio.
So we don't know exactly what camera it is. It could be the one that we're actually sitting against. That could be the problem.
What about this big ass microphone that's right here? Does that not work?
It did for the first 4.
It just randomly stopped working.
Yeah, I still haven't figured that out. It's been a holiday. I'm sorry, guys. I can only do so much.
Have you had Kramer come over and try to tweak you guys out?
He's done some things. He did a lot of the pictures for us, and he's talked about some audio stuff. But that guy, he's a busy dude. He's hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Usually he comes into the chat every now and then, but
I fucking saw him last Sunday.
Yeah.
Lynn had a little party I cooked for her and made a fuck ton of money off of.
You made money off Lynn?
Yeah, she paid me a shit ton of money. Not a shit ton, but I made 4 things and I walked away with $450.
God damn. Lynn Rollman.
I'm pretty sure she's almost a millionaire now.
I think she loves you.
Yeah,
I've done things for her.
Whoa, that's supposed to take it easy.
Lots of things.
That's my limit. But
A lot of things for her.
we just kind of get along, man. All of the Greenhouse crew. We get fucking drunk and we.
I don't know, man. I'm not part of that crew anymore.
It was. I think the crew that I'm talking about, because there was a lot of people that you didn't know that showed up. It's like my 3-year tenure of being a chef there. Like that's the crew we're talking about.
John Taylor don't love me no more. I don't know what I did, but he's...
John Taylor's just fucking weird, man.
He
Like I
don't
love
love me
John
at all.
Taylor to death. Like I love him, but he just holds grudges for like no reason. I would always ask him because like when I was like looking for people and I was like, I'm gonna hire Adam. He was like, you can't hire Adam. I was like, why? He's like, you just can't. And it was like something about you and Kevin. I don't know what you guys did to him, but like he was just really on the fence about you guys.
I don't know, man. I don't know what I did, but
He was not cool with me anymore.
That's all good. He's in Tennessee now, living a life, so whatever. Don't.
It's too bad, because I really like John.
John's awesome.
I don't understand why he got so angry at me.
So, like I said, guys, going back to this risotto. Wait, don't do it yet. So remember how I said if you like let your risotto go a little too long, it's gonna get really stiff. This is what I was talking about. To me, this is excessively stiff. You don't want that. I like my risotto to be a little more creamier, a little bit on the liquid side. So this is when I say when you should serve your risotto as is, or cook it to 90% and then chill it down. Because right now this has just been sitting, so it's probably well past done. And we're gonna add a little bit of chicken stock to it to kind of like help thin it out just a little bit more. But it's still gonna be good. It's still gonna have the same flavor profile. The texture might be a little gummy because it's just been sitting on heat or like a low timid heat for a little bit, but it's still gonna be edible. It's not gonna be bad.
The rice still has some bite to it, so I can add a little bit more chicken stock to this, mix it up, and it'll still be good. But the reason why I'm doing it now is because I'm gonna try and get this meal out within the next 10 minutes. So I want to get it heated up to a level where it's good and piping hot before I end up plating it. You see that actually added a little bit more of what we're looking for.
It's still fine.
But yeah, I mean, there's still a good amount of bite on the rice. It's not all mush and gummy. It's good. It's going to be just fine. And our greens. Greens are pretty much done, I think. This is where I stop my greens. Some people can cook them for hours and hours and hours in a pot, but
Usually when I do my greens, I don't chop it up. I usually keep the leaves really big.
I like them like that. But this came chopped, and so.
Also, if you guys are I'm pretty sure most of you guys are from the Pacific Northwest. Support your local farmers. I can't flex that enough.
Oh, dude, man.
Don't if you have an opportunity to go to local produce stores, fucking do it, man. Support your community. I'm a big believer in supporting your community. There's no reason to support the big man. I'm gonna sound like one of those weirdos, but
some of the coolest people I've met
are farmers, man.
Farmers, they're such cool people.
But like I said, just support your local farmers. You're gonna get way better produce. You're gonna get way better product in general, and it's gonna be for a good cause. Because if you can support somebody who's doing this for themselves rather than doing it for a major corporation, just go ahead and do it, man. It's gonna make your community stronger. You're gonna get a better product, and rather than getting pre-washed, pre-chopped, pre this, just go do it yourself. You're gonna feel the love. You're gonna appreciate your food a little bit more, and also your farmers and your local community is gonna appreciate you as well. So,
and if you want to get really into it, and I mean really into it, you should go down there and volunteer, because farmers are dying, man. Once this generation of farmers is gone, there's gonna be real trouble finding farmers. George Bloom was he's the owner and operator of Polar Farms, and he's getting up there, man. He's getting old, and he doesn't have anybody to take over the farm because none of his kids or grandkids want to do it. So who knows what's going to happen to Polar Farms when George is gone. And they have been providing local produce for us local chefs for the longest time.
even if you haven't eaten at some of the restaurants that you think so, even most college students, like George Bloom, he's an amazing guy, one of my favorite people in the world. But he basically sells produce to most colleges out here. So Clark College, he sells the majority of their produce to them. And he does that great of a job. And a little backstory about him is he was trained, I think, by the government, right? He was trained by the government to if shit hit the fan and we were to get nuked and we didn't have proper soil to grow things with. He was trained by the government to grow produce out of complete nothing. So that's why he's such a great
Like
farmer.
irradiated soil and stuff.
So
He was trained by, I think it was a CIA agent. He was also in, God, what was it? The Korean War, I think? And he got shot down behind enemy lines. Like, just this super interesting dude, man. And I love talking to him. And he'd always know when there was something on your mind, too. I'd be out there smoking. And George Bloom come out and he'd be like, oh, man, looks like you got something on your mind. I'm like, yeah, you know, all this stuff. And he's like, you got a car? You should go up to the top of Skyline at like 2 o'clock in the morning and race down that thing. I tell you what, you'll feel better when you get to the bottom.
yeah,
He always had these like sage words of wisdom, man.
agreed. I really think why the newer generation doesn't want to take over people's farms is because, I mean, I'm pretty sure the older generation before me were talking about us the same way, but the younger generation, they're just a bunch of little privileged fucking lazy assholes, man. Like
Lazy ass millennials.
that's all they fucking do is they want everything instantly. Everything has to be instant gratification. They want things now. They don't really know the definition of like hard work. So like
Who knows, man?
once you fucking put in like manual labor, like hand picking most of your vegetables and shit, and for like making bare nothing, like kids aren't gonna do that shit. Kids would rather. I'm not even. I mean, I'm just being a hater at this point. Kids would rather.
You hate.
Kids would rather just sit down on Twitch and fucking play video games and make millions a year. Because honestly, if you had the opportunity to do which one, I would honestly pick the video games too. But at the same time, there's no fucking love behind it. Like, as far as farmers do this shit because they love it, you know. And I feel like there's not a love in most people's careers nowadays. Everybody wants the easy money, the easy way out, the easy this, and I feel like that's why we're gonna fail as a country until these
Honestly,
fucking lazy assholes get off their ass and do something.
That's the reason why, and restaurants are in trouble too, because nobody wants to cook anymore. It's hard. The hours are long. You don't get paid very well. Like,
You know, nobody wants to like deal with that, and it's harsh. The reason why we're like tough talking, you know, fuck this, fuck that, is because it's a hard world full of like drug addicts and, you know, people who have been homeless and like all different kinds of things. Like I had this saying back in the day that just about every cook in the business has one addiction and at least one divorce. Like, if you've been in the industry for more than 15 years, you got at least one of those. And you can be addicted to anything. You can be addicted to video games. You can be addicted to cigarettes or weed or whatever. You're like, everybody has their own way of coping, and nobody wants to deal with that anymore, man. Like, cooking for a living is not this glamorous lifestyle that they tell you on TV.
It's not. But at the same time, most people who do this, I don't know, I feel like there's two kind of people. There's people who do it because that's all they know how to do. And then there's people who do it because they love it. And I'm a little bit of both. Like, I love doing this, but that's really all I know how to do. Like, if you were to smack me in the back of my head and make me fucking go in a coma and I woke up and didn't know how to cook, but I remembered everything else, I would be like a professional masturbator. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Like, what is this?
This stuff, the flavor is on point, but it is still really tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can still just, you can build a plate just so they can visually see
Yeah,
the final dish. So they don't have to sit in the...
I think that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
It's been a long day for us here, so we're probably just gonna plate this up, show you guys how it looks, and we'll try to eat it how it is, but it's gonna be a little tough. These things should cook for like a minimum.
Not that bad.
Minimum of, I'd say, what, 4 hours maybe?
Well, these being this small, I would say give them 2 hours and they'll be good. But like, how I usually braise myself is I'll sear it and I'll force it in at a high heat for like maybe like 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll crank it down to like maybe like 225 and let that bitch dry for like at least like 2 or 3 hours. But the key thing is going to be the size of your protein. The larger it is, of course, it's going to need way longer time. But like I said, man, the things that take the longest are always going to taste the better, like the best, because it's just so much love and flavor and just going to be infused in whatever you're going to be cooking.
and it's it's always a gamble when you're trying to braise something quickly.
Yeah.
This could have happened, and you know, I took a gamble on it. And
Sometimes you got to just make love to the food and don't just try to fuck it all the time.
she ain't all the way done. She ain't all the way done.
But you got to get it ready, you know. Let's foreplay this up a little bit.
All right, so we're gonna take some of our risotto. Let's heat her up a little bit more.
Add some more stock to it.
Yeah, a little bit more stock. So we're gonna heat this up, make sure it's good and hot when we put it on the plate. Commercialized farms where everything is run by expensive machines and mass-produced. Natasha is woke.
That is very true. Like, have you ever just watched, what is that goddamn documentary called?
Which one?
I think it's Food Inc.
There's so many of them.
There was one that I watched where they were basically putting like local farmers out of commission because they wanted their land so they can mass produce the things that were making them money, like potatoes and corn and shit.
Sorghum.
And so what they would do was they would what's the name? They would trademark their certain strand of
Monsanto.
Yeah, they would copyright it pretty much, but nobody can have it. If you had it without them consenting, it was illegal and they can sue you.
Man.
And they built this farm next to this local farmer, and then they had somebody just kind of like plant some shit over in this place, claim that he stole it, and they fucking sued the guy and made him go out of business and took over his farm, which is the complete fucking asshole thing to do. But
we can all admit that Monsanto's pretty fucking evil.
Yeah, so nobody wants that shit, man. So that's why I say support your local farmers. You know, some of the best fucking produce that I've ever had have just come in a fucking plastic bag that's dirty and wrinkled as shit. You know,
man, you wouldn't believe it. Like the stuff that George Bloom brings to you, it's still warm from the sun.
Yeah,
it was literally growing 15 minutes before you're handling it.
So, like I said, I can't flex it enough, man. Support your local farmers. Support your local farmers, or just your local stores in general, man. Like, it's all about community. Don't go to like Walmart and buy your fucking food, like groceries. Go to like your local mom and pop shop. Go to your local restaurants. Go support local, man. I can't flex that enough.
Right. I'm gonna miss this belly when it's gone. I use this belly for everything. Like if something's real heavy and I'm trying to put it in the walk-in, I can literally just balance it on my belly and like open up the walk-in door. Andy, thank you so much for dropping in. We're right about to plate, and but I realize you gotta go. I think you're on the East Coast, so it's probably pretty late for you.
Oh, you're playing PUBG too, man. Rest in peace to your fucking life.
PUBG.
That game is fun as shit, but it's so stressful.
You played on Xbox or you got a PC now?
I run it on my PC, but it's not that great. So I stream it from my laptop.
Yeah.
So it's not that great.
I don't know. A lot of my buddies play PUBG, and I'm just not very good at it at all.
It's just really hard because I don't like talking on PC because the minute I say something, I just get called a nigger. So I just
yeah, man.
I just stick to myself, and it's really hard to communicate.
You know what? You think that's like lying too? We used to play on Xbox, man. He couldn't open his mouth at all. That's how racist people are on the internet when they don't have to worry about somebody being in their face.
I don't even think it's racism. I just think it's like it's the thing to do. Like
it's not the thing to do. It's the thing that people shouldn't be doing, man.
Well, yeah.
We gotta get over that shit.
But if you want to not get called the N-word, go switch to PlayStation. Like ever since I switched to PS3, I can count on my hands how many times I've been called the N-word.
For sure.
When I was on Xbox Live, like my hand was filled within like a couple of hours.
Not even like a couple of minutes, man.
Especially on Call of Duty.
You know what? Beat your kids.
Yeah.
Beat your little 12-year-old blonde bang chubby cheek kids, man, because they're the ones who are saying that stuff. As soon as you turn your back and go downstairs to drink your boxed wine and yeah, little Timmy's up there calling people the N-word. They're the foulest little kids, man. That's weird, you know, like nowadays when everybody talks about the toxicity of certain, like, dude, they talk about the toxicity of like games, and this game's so toxic, and you don't even know about toxic, man. If you weren't playing games 10 years ago,
if you didn't start your online multiplayer either playing Counter-Strike or fucking Call of Duty Modern Warfare,
you don't know
what toxic is. I will admit though, the Overwatch, especially on the PC, is like the worst toxic community ever. Like those fuckers are just terrible.
What's wrong?
The cutting board cameras down again.
Again.
Yeah.
Figures right when we need a plate, right?
Yeah, it's like I've been trying to get it up, and I'm like, "Are you plating? Are you on? Are you doing?" Like,
So I am plating over here, but apparently you're not seeing it. Let me guess. OBS is gonna update in the middle of the stream again.
I think I got it going. Hold on. Just move.
So some people don't like to keep the bones in. I like to keep them there as like a visual reminder that it was once, on the bone.
It needs to be played.
Breaking stuff.
Well, you can't really see it. I got it working, but you can't really see it.
Here we go. Yeah, a little bit of the onions and the red wine. It's been reduced onto the top.
We're gonna reduce you on the top.
Oh yeah.
Gonna deglaze the fuck out of you.
All right. We'll add a little bit of green onions just to add some green onions.
You gotta like salt bay that shit.
I do not salt bake. All right? Everybody wants me to salt bake.
You salt bay, bro.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Do it for the vine.
Do it. All right, there we go.
Awesome. Can you see it? Like a full plate.
For some reason we got like corners of everyone. I'm gonna hand that over. And we're gonna go ahead and he's gonna show you that one.
I'm gonna attempt to eat it, but
Wait a minute, hold on. You hand me stuff and then change.
Transitioning.
Which one are you on?
this one.
Face cam.
Okay.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Can you guys see it? Can you guys see
There
it?
we go.
Anyways, this is what the final dish looks like. A little co-op action going on.
Oh yeah.
Put some of the sauce. You have any sauce from the
Yeah, dude.
fucking juice that bitch up?
I'm gonna juice it.
You look so delicious and you look beautiful.
Oh my goodness, you're such a sweet talker.
Green leaves, you look so delicious.
She's
Princess
married.
Natasha, you look so
She's
beautiful.
married. Oh my god.
I don't give a but oh yeah, sauce me. Sauce me, daddy. Oh. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go try and attempt to eat these rubbery things.
You smell delicious. Oh wait, you said that. Yeah.
You smell delicious. Oh my god, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Carl, you gotta sit in this chair. Have you ever been in an official gaming chair?
No.
Then it's for big boys too.
I have a fucking
Oh, you killed it. Where's the thing? You threw the pillow.
oh my. Yeah, I have a shitty ass fucking IKEA computer desk chair that hurts my asshole every time.
That's
I sit
gonna
in it.
change your life, man.
Okay, we gotta transition over to this.
It will. Yeah. The little pillow.
Oh my. I know these things are fucking expensive, man.
This one cost me $400.
Yeah, see, that's way.
No, man. The construction of this thing, it's gonna last a very, very long time. First of all, like that chair weighs like 60 pounds minimum.
Yeah, I built mine in like
It's a beast.
10 minutes. It was fucking terrible. Are we live streaming you?
We are.
Oh nice.
We like to torture our viewers by eating the food and talking about how delicious it is after we cook it.
Well, it's fucking delicious.
All right.
I'm a weirdo, that's why I eat everything with a spoon. Don't judge me, I'm Korean. That's what we do.
I thought you guys use chopsticks.
Well, but when we come to America, we eat everything with a spoon.
So yeah, risotto, even though we temperature abused it and cooked it way too early, still on point. You can taste just about everything, and the rice actually stayed fairly firm. Risotto, delightful.
It's not too shabby. I'm not gonna eat it all. I'm so fucking full.
The greens, What I did actually, and I didn't tell you guys because we were talking, I added a tiny bit of shrub. Marionberry shrub. And it's actually a Marionberry sipping vinegar. So it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. Because when I tasted it at first, the bacon and the salt from the salt water was kind of overwhelming. So I added just a little bit of the vinegar, the Marionberry vinegar. And I think it evened it out a little bit.
Which we got local, by the way.
We did get local. Got that down at the farmer's market. These short ribs, unfortunately, are pretty much inedible. Because they're just not done. Can't go home with a fork. We're just going to gnaw on it, I guess.
Mine's not that bad.
So it's definitely chewable, it's just not easily cut.
I can't.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had a fun time. Want to thank Carl for coming over and coming through.
Oh, sure.
You know, being a chef and being a dad, probably don't have a whole lot of time to do this kind of stuff. So I want to really thank him. I want to thank everybody that came in today and watched the show. I want to thank everybody for not getting triggered or offended.
Yeah, I say some fucked up shit and I don't apologize. But if you guys want to follow me on all social media, all my shit is literally this. Oh, that's mechanical keyboard.
RBG Duck.
That's where you can follow me. Seriously, Snapchat is RBG Duck. Twitter, RBG Duck. PSN, Xbox Live.
If you want to see pictures of occasional food and an adorable Blasian baby.
But I think my Instagram is different because my fucking ex hacked me. I couldn't get my account back.
You gotta have. Which one was that?
The other Asian one.
Bay?
Yeah.
She was a crazy one. I liked her.
My Instagram name is your_local_chef. If you guys really give two shits about me.
Do you know that girl that came over and donated all that stuff? That's Bay's sister.
Who? Jessica?
Yep.
When?
She came over to our house and donated a bunch of stuff to charity.
I work with a nonprofit.
Really?
Yep.
She have a white husband?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Jessica.
Yep. That's her sister.
You know what's crazy? So on Snapchat, I've blocked her since we broken up, which was like well over like 4 or 5
A lot of years ago, yeah.
And so she'll add me on Snapchat, I'll block her. She's up to like 24, where she'll just like do her, it'll be like RBG Duck, I'll block her, she'll be like RBG Duck 1, RBG Duck 2.
That's crazy, man.
So she's on, I think she's on like 23 or 24 or something like right now, which is insane to me. So
yeah, she's still trying to get at it.
the power of good penis.
And on that note, we're gonna end for the evening.
Good night, guys.
Thanks to Will for the sub. Thanks to everybody for coming in, and we'll see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Oh shit.
What?
I'm gonna drop you guys off with MCB. Well, I guess not. I guess I'm just gonna go over to his channel.
Playing some fucking Fortnite.
So I'm gonna drop you off. With. No, actually, you know what? Is Indy still on, or did he go to bed? Indy's still on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop you off over at Indy's, and you guys can go see what he does. /host. Dr. Indiana Jones. Dr. Indiana Jones looks good. All right. It's a host. We're going to do it, Princess Natasha. We're going to go check out Dr. Indiana Jones. He's playing PUBG right now. Let's give him some support because that game is hard as balls and I hate it. So, yeah.
Peace, 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 peace.
Peace. Good night, everybody.
I'm fucking full.